Bob and Marla, we are waiting for an official update. The first one for today. We are in front of the sheriff's station right here in Santa Clarita, waiting for Sheriff Alex Villanueva to come out to give us the official update on the investigation and, of course, any updates in terms of what exactly happened yesterday during that tragic mass shooting at Saugus High School. So far, law enforcement officials say the shooter doesn't fit the profile of a person who would set out to kill. And homicide detectives are working both crime scene at this hour, the school and the shooter's home, searching for evidence, trying to figure out a motive for all this and why that mass shooting happened yesterday in the morning. They continue to scrub all social media and electronic communication, but have indicated they believe the shooter wasn't driven by ideology and was solely responsible for the attack. Investigators did find other firearms belonging to the shooter's late father, who was an avid hunter. It's presumably why the sheriff said the 16-year-old who opened fire yesterday was skilled with a firearm. Even when it seemed to malfunction in the morning, he was able to clear it, saving the final bullet to shoot himself in the head. Homicide detectives are also working with victim family members, and it'll be determined if and when those shooting victims will be identified. But it's the action of the heroes, off-duty law enforcement, who are dropping off their own family members at school, who sprang into action and saved lives, helping victims and distressed students. The sheriff also crediting students for doing their part in the emergency.
First thing is run. Run as fast as you can, as far away as possible. And in this incident, a lot of students who were outside in the quad area when it happened did exactly that. Others sheltered in place, so they barricaded themselves. And fortunately, no one had to resort to then fighting the suspect, which is a third level of response to
if you don't have a choice.
If you had no other choice. So they did as they were trained.
And back out here live, we are waiting for that news conference to begin any moment now. But let's go to my colleague Mario Ramirez, who is standing by in Central Park. That was a reunification site for families, also where this community is coming together today. Mario?
Hi, Sandra, and we're learning more about the two teens who were killed in yesterday's shooting. One has been identified as 16-year-old Gracie Ann Muehlberger. The 14-year-old boy's name hasn't been publicly released just yet, but take a look here behind me. This is where we've seen people all morning coming to pay their respects at Central Park, a growing memorial where there's another vigil planned here Sunday night. Meanwhile, we want to show you this video. This is the scene outside the home of one of the surviving shooting victims, Mia Treda. We spoke to a family member there who says she's walking now and recovering at the hospital after being shot in the hip. Another girl whose family only gave her first name as Addison, also recovering in the hospital. Now, we can tell you counseling services are being offered for students and staff today at Grace Baptist Church. That's where one of several gatherings was held last night to remember the two victims who didn't survive and those who were left seriously injured. We did speak to people all morning who came by the memorial. Some were students from other schools. One parent whose kids just graduated from Saugus High School says it's still very painful.
It's surreal. I don't think there's any other way to explain it. You're just kind of in a cloud. I helped out with, my son played football and baseball, so I helped out with football and spent a lot of time in that quad. That's the quad that we watched the kids walk to prom. So yeah, it's just crazy. So, you know, you just take it 1 hour at a time and think about everybody that's affected and wish that you could change it, but you just can't.
And back on her live, as for the 14-year-old boy who was killed, his name hasn't been made public, but friends say he was a cadet in the Air Force Junior ROTC at Saugus High School. Meanwhile, we can tell you there's another vigil planned Sunday evening at 7 o'clock here near the flagpole at Central Park. Reporting live in Santa Clarita, back to you in the studio.
All right, Mario. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Mario.
much.
Now we